we've talked about people and the Dunbar's law. Goes back to tribes and the philosophy that we really can only connect with 150 people. How do you feel, is that still true? Even if I have 5,000 friends and 5,000 Twitter followers and 500 people that I'm following on Foursquare, am I really truly only connecting with 150 people?
Well, I believe that the Dunbar number is important for relationship discussions.
Yeah.
And I know that that word is used quite often in social networking. But I believe that the Dunbar number, as it relates to social networks, is we're over. We're done. In fact, we need to just let that go, because we are moving from an era of relationships to an era of relations, and that is okay. Meaning that you're connected with 5,000 people who are connected to you because of things that you might say, you might do, you might share, and likewise, you're connecting with many individuals for that same reason. And so, just pings, resonance, relevance every now and then is good enough to sustain those networks. Of course, you're going to have a tighter inner circle, just like reality, but meaning that the Dunbar, as Dunbar applies to social networking, it just almost gets in the way.
Yeah.
Meaning that we have to understand that information knows no boundaries. Shared insights, commonalities, interests, they know no boundaries. And if you can form these contextual networks around that, they can be as big as they want. For example, you might be connected to, let's just say 10,000 people on Twitter. When you talk about advertising, you might only really be connecting with, let's just say 2,000 people are connected to you because they find your advertising discussions interesting. When you talk about, I don't know, sailing, it's another 500. Maybe football is a different group of 2,000. Meaning that you have one collection of individuals that are disparately connected based on topics. And some of the best thinking around this right now is what Twitter's doing with their advertising vehicle. The idea of a promoted tweet, meaning that if you talk about coffee quite a bit, you might be likely to see the Starbucks promoted tweet in your stream, because it's figuring out what you talk about and forming a contextual network for advertising based on that. Now, even though they're looking at CPM in terms of a form of measurement as it rolls out, they're really talking about looking at how do you measure this from a resonance standpoint. How long can that promoted tweet stay alive in the stream? How many times is it clicked? How many times is it favorited? How many times is it retweeted or replied to? I mean, that's engagement, that's interaction, that's a powerful metric. And that brings the fifth P back into this discussion based on context. How do you keep something so relevant and alive and interesting that people interact with it and keep it alive?